Shemai everyone, it's JonnyVR here with another Time Lord Victorious review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mutually Assured Destruction, which is the fourth contribution of Big Finish and the third and final installment of the Paul McGann trilogy. If you want to give Time Lord Victorious a go, check out my Time Lord Victorious playlist where I go through each product and the cheapest way to experience the story. Stay tuned for more Time Lord Victorious reviews and check out our gaming channel at youtube.com/skybotgaming where I'll be playing the Time Lord Victorious update for The Edge of Time. As always, the first part of this review will be spoiler free, then I'll give you notice when I'm going to go into spoiler territory, because if you listen to this audio drama and you want to talk about it, let's have a discussion in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just beware of potential spoilers when making a comment, so maybe put a spoiler alert on your comment to let others know. On to the spoiler-free part of the review. The story comes in at 1 hour and 2 minutes long, making it the longest episode in the trilogy. It also has 15 minutes of interviews with the cast and crew, but interestingly no music suite, which is a shame because they've been adding those recently. My biggest complaint with this story is that during the early parts of the story it's not exactly clear where the locations are, as it's primarily set in one place, with not much variety in the ways to distinguish between the different sublocations. This becomes more clear, however, as the episode continues and more locations become more explicit. Paul McGann puts in another good performance as the Doctor. He gets to exhibit many of the traits of the Doctor, including having fun in difficult situations, being resourceful and opting against violence. The episode is incredibly Dalek heavy, with each member of the Dalek Time Squad present in the episode getting a lot of time for themselves as a character in the episode. As before, the Dalek Time Squad is written to perfection, and I love how they share some similarities to the Cult of Skaro, but they are much more defined as individuals. Other characters introduced in the episode also get sufficient time for development, so that we can understand exactly who they are and what their motives are. One of them in particular has some very interesting dynamics with the Doctor as the Doctor learns more about them. As an installment in the Paul McGann trilogy, it doesn't necessarily continue from the enemy of my enemy in the way that you might think, and at the same time it uses aspects from the other episodes of the trilogy that cement it as a standalone trilogy. But even then, it's not that difficult to listen without having listened to the rest of the trilogy. It uses things that people would notice but not need to have listened to. In the overall Time Lord Victorious narrative, this installment definitely feels like a closure in some respects, and I think that we could be seeing more installments that act as closures as the final Time Lord Victorious stories are released. Since you can experience different parts of Time Lord Victorious without any prerequisites, we can expect multiple closures and payoffs in various media. The payoff here for some parts of the Time Lord Victorious story and the Paul McGann trilogy are interesting, and it will be exciting to see how other parts of the story are closed. In addition, there are some brief links to other Time Lord Victorious stories and some interesting new teases, which may be referencing future Time Lord Victorious media, so it'll be interesting to see where they take it from here as Time Lord Victorious comes to an end. Overall, I think the episode is a fun episode that brings some aspect of Time Lord Victorious and the Paul McGann trilogy to a close in an exciting and satisfying way. I'm now going to move into spoiler territory, so here is your spoiler warning. Once the Doctor reaches the laboratory, for me it becomes clearer where the sublocations are, as it's all set on the Dalek time ship, so it's difficult early on to distinguish between the different sublocations like the engine room, the bridge and cryogenics. The laboratory has one of the best and funniest scenes in which the Doctor dances with the unwilling Dalek scientist in anti-gravity. From cryogenics we have the introduction of two characters, Groth and Tiska, who are from Trelassa. As they are unfrozen, it is found that they are the last of their kind and were taken by the Daleks. This also surprisingly ties into the Tales of the Dark Times comic creator comics, which also show the Daleks doing similar things. Tiska has some interesting dynamics with the Doctor, as he has sympathy for her as she is among the last of her kind, but he conflicts with her for her experimentations on other life forms, made even more interesting because she experimented on Daleks. The episode acts as a closure for at least some of the Dalek Time Squad, with each member ultimately meeting their end, except for the Emperor, who is not present, and perhaps the Strategist, who it's implied was trying to escape from the exploding ship. The Strategist is revealed to the Time Commander as a traitor by the Doctor, who recorded their conversation in which the Strategist made a deal with the Doctor to escape. The Strategist retaliates and ultimately exterminates the Commander, which is both a surprising and fitting end for one of the Time Squad, as the Strategist is found out yet still tries to protect himself. The episode also acts as a closure for the Paul McGann trilogy, as by the end, the Doctor has left the Dark Times. However, there was some interesting teases, such as Groth mentioning the Dark One, a name the Doctor apparently recognised. I think this could be picked up in Echoes of Extinction, another Big Finish audio drama which features Paul McGann, but it could also be a tease for some other Big Finish story. Other connections to Time Lord Victorious and the Paul McGann trilogy include the heat shield from Athana, seen in He Kills Me Not, which is used to great effect by the Doctor, but it doesn't require you to have listened to that story to know where it came from. In addition, the Trelassans were identified in the Raxian library, which is from the planet in The Enemy of My Enemy. Overall, it was good to see some payoff in this episode, and I'm excited to see how other Time Lord Victorious media also pay off different parts of the Time Lord Victorious narrative. So there we are, that's my review of Mutually Assured Destruction. Let me know what you thought of this installment of Time Lord Victorious. Feel free to post comments about the story, but beware there may be spoilers, so perhaps put a spoiler warning on your comment if you're going to talk about the actual story. Stay tuned for more Time Lord Victorious reviews, and if you haven't already, check out my Time Lord Victorious playlist where I go through each of the products and the cheapest way to experience the story. If you want to support our channel, you can do so by going to coffee.com/skybotfilm, where you can tip us the price of a coffee, which you use to get better equipment and make better videos for the channel. So with all that said and done, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!